Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. UFC 326 just wrapped up, and in this video, we are going to be seeing what happened in the main event and also my reaction to the White House card, which was announced during UFC 326. As for the main event, Charles Oliveira absolutely dominates Max Holloway. For 25 minutes, he dominates him on the ground. He dominates him on the feet for the 2 minutes that it lasted as a whole. But dominates him everywhere, and then destroys the BMF belt, all on the same night. There's a lot of criticism I'm seeing on the internet for against Charles Oliveira, saying this was a boring performance. What did you guys expect? Charles Oliveira, he's not a dumb fighter. He's not gonna be trading with Max Holloway for 25 minutes. He never called for it. Even during the interviews, he said he's gonna do everything to win, and if Max Holloway points down, he's gonna trade with him. And to his credit, that's exactly what he did. But he's not a dumb fighter. He knows what he needs to do to win. He has title aspirations. He's not Michael Chandler. I bet you guys don't want to see Michael Chandler in a BMF fight, because he would be the perfect candidate for it because he's dumb. And it's not like Charles Oliveira was shooting immediately. Every round he was cracking Max Holloway on the feet first before he took him down. Each round he stung Max Holloway. So I don't really agree with a lot of criticisms on this. You really believe that Charles Oliveira does not deserve to be called the BMF? The man who traded with Ilia Topuria in the first 15 seconds. The man who traded with Max Holloway in the last 10 seconds. The man who has the most finishes. The man who has the most submissions. He has been to the decision for, 4 fights? 5 fights maybe? In his 40-fight career. You think that guy doesn't deserve to be a BMF because he decided to win the fight and be safe? And it's not like he wasn't trying to get a finish. He was constantly trying to get a submission in the fight. Max Holloway just defended them. So if you think this, you are allowed to have this opinion. I just think you are wrong. And also, in my opinion, certain fighters are allowed to play safe if they want to prioritize to be win. Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje, Justin Gaethje, Iri Prohaska, Pietro Yan. All of these fighters, they have lost enough brain cells. They don't have to lose more if they can win it in an easier way and a safer way. So I don't really care about a lot of these criticisms shitting on Charles Oliveira. What is the valid criticism that you might say, and I also have it, is that he was hunting for submission too much. I think he should have done a bit more ground and pound, but that was just an extra thing. I'm completely fine with this performance. I was excited for this whole fight, so I personally was completely fine with this. So as I said, Charles Oliveira cracks Max Holloway every round in the first 15-20 seconds. This fight reminded me of Justin Gaethje, man. The Justin Gaethje fight. Charles Oliveira did not miss anything he threw. He was not missing his right hand. He was not missing his leg kick. And for the leg kick, this is how you're supposed to fight someone who's constantly moving. Charles Oliveira decided, oh no, you're not moving everywhere. You go to the left, I'm going to kick your leg. I'm going to throw head kicks. You go to the right, I'm going to throw left hook. You want to come forward, I'm going to front tip you. This was a really, really good performance from Charles Oliveira on the feet. It didn't last a lot there. And a lot of it does come from Max Holloway panicking about the takedown. But still, This was such a great showing from Charles Oliveira, in my opinion. This is what I expected him from the Ilia Topuria fight. Stay long, attack the movement, the lateral movement. Do not let the other fighter circle around and staying there. Push him to the cage, get to the clinch. Do not overthrow your shots and be open during combos, and that's exactly what Charles Oliveira did in this fight. And certain fights I see Charles Oliveira and I'm really confused how good he is. And then some further fights he will fight really bad or like relatively bad. Like the Topuria fight, like the even in the Gamrot fight, I did not like Charles Oliveira on the feet, but maybe you can say that he did not respect Gamrot at all in that fight. And to a certain extent, he did not respect Max Holloway in this fight. He just walked him down. Max Holloway did not want to sit on his jab. In my breakdown of the fight, I did say that Max Holloway is going to have an easy time finding his jab. But you cannot pepper with jab on Charles Oliveira. You need to sting him with it. Otherwise, you are not going to get his respect. And he's going to keep moving forward. And that's what Topuria did against Charles Oliveira. He did not like non-grounded jabs. He was sitting down on his jabs and he was stinging Oliveira with everything. If Topuria threw something, he was doing it with the intention of hurting Oliveira. And Max Holloway did not do that because I think he didn't want to plant himself to the ground because maybe he thought Charles Oliveira might shoot on him. And in Charles Oliveira's defense, I think it's much harder to shoot on a guy who's like 3'4", like Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan, than it is to do it against 5'11" Max Holloway. But Charles Oliveira on the feet in this fight, again, was perfect in my opinion. He was not too reckless. He was picking his shots properly. He did not let Max Holloway move freely. And from everything, from once he had Max Holloway pushed back past the black line, Max Holloway could not escape from Charles Oliveira. He was cutting him so clean with shots, he did not know what to do. He started panicking, and then once he started panicking, Charles Oliveira get to the clinch. Talking about getting to the clinch, maybe in hindsight, I might have overestimated Max Holloway's takedown defense. And I think a lot of people did overestimate his takedown. I knew Charles Oliveira can take down. I did not think Max Holloway was some Jose Aldo type of fighter where it's impossible to take him down. I thought it's very possible for Oliveira to take him down, but what I did not expect is that how easy it was to take him down and how consistently Charles Oliveira was taking him down. He was basically, this was like Hamzat was a Dricus Duplessis level of easy. Max Holloway's understanding of the wrestling exchanges was really underwhelming in this fight. It was getting the Charles Oliveira was easily getting the body lock, and once it was the body lock, he was just picking him up and throwing him down like easily, ragdolling him. Charles Oliveira looked extremely strong, which I did not really expect. I thought Max Holloway looked very comparatively very similar with this build. I did not think Charles Oliveira is going to be this overwhelming strength of muscle against Max Holloway because Max Holloway looked beefy in my opinion. But this gripping, the wrestling strength, it's different, man, if you're not used to it. And Max Holloway's, a lot of his wrestling defense comes from getting the whizzer and like getting wrist control and trying to escape from this, maybe giving the back. And this might work against Volkanovski at Topuria. But you are not going to be able to do this against Charles Oliveira because he's going to jump. He's going to transition into a back take. And the lack of knowledge from Max Holloway was very visible with the wrestling. I mean the wrestling positions. Like Charles Oliveira will never be able to do this against Islam Makhachev. He will never be able to do this against Arman Sarukian. Look at Charles Oliveira's position here. This is a completely off balance position, and anyone with a decent wrestling understanding, maybe I shouldn't say decent wrestling because Max Holloway is decent with his wrestling exchanges, but anyone with solid wrestling knowledge would be trying to take down Oliveira and then trying to end on top of Oliveira. But this was not the case against for Max Holloway, and he was taken down from here easily. And whenever this type of situation was happening against the Benil Dariush, Ilia Topuria, a Gamrot, an Islam Makachev, he was getting easily thrown down and was ending on the bottom. Because Charles Oliveira can be reckless even within the wrestling exchanges. He just want to take the fight to the ground, and he will get into these type of weird positions where the other guy can take you down. But Max Holloway did not have the understanding to do that. To Max's credit, I did not think Max Holloway would survive Charles Oliveira, man. If the fight, if Charles Oliveira get on top, I did not think Max Holloway was gonna survive against him. So maybe I did underestimate both of them in certain situations, in certain positions, or overestimate in other positions. Max Holloway was doing a really good job defending against the chokes. And again, this was another thing. People keep saying Charles Oliveira was not trying to finish the fight. You can go back and watch the full fight. He did not stop looking for submissions. This was, in my opinion, this was not a Hamza Chimaev versus Dricus Duplessis, because Dricus or Hamza stopped trying to get a finish. Charles Oliveira was constantly looking for the submissions, and he was constantly trying to get to a better position. So the first round fight starts. Charles Oliveira cracks him on the feet, takes him down, controls him for 4 minutes. Second round, same thing. Third round, same thing. And by the fourth round, Max Holloway was done, in my opinion. Between this was Max Holloway between third round and fourth round, and he was breathing heavily. I think he was completely broken mentally because he did not understand how to stop Charles Oliveira's pressure and also how to stop the takedowns and how to get out from under him. And Charles Oliveira was just mogging him from the other direction, standing in the Superman position, just both hands on hips, just mogging Max Holloway. Charles Oliveira was paying homage to Jackie Chan movies, man. Digging was just, he did a lot of cool stuff, but again, he was, this I was laughing at because he was just digging his chin into Max Holloway's eyes, and I'm like, okay, he must have seen Drunken Master 2 from Jackie Chan. And in the fifth round, Max Holloway, after getting again cracked in the first 15 seconds, actually defends Charles Oliveira's takedown and gets to the top position. But this is also something I broke down. I said if Charles Oliveira pulls guard against Max Holloway, I believe he's going to be safe for the most part. And he was extremely safe against Max Holloway. There was nothing he could really do. As soon as he got taken down, he really hugged, basically put his face into Max Holloway's dick. But then he was grabbing Max Holloway's both. I mean, he had the hooks on the right leg, and he was hooking his left leg, which means Max Holloway really could not get any balance to sit up straight and then trying to do any elbows or to do damage. And Daniel Cormier was saying, Max Holloway should be stalling. Like, that's gonna be something that's gonna allow Max Holloway to win the fight. He was dominated for 4 rounds, man. There was nothing that he can do here. He could not escape from here. He could not really do damage. and he cannot stall because you have like 4 minutes to win this fight. So Max Holloway was really struggling to do some kind of damage, and then Charles Oliveira was able to bring him down, break his balance, and then get to a single leg again. Turn into He turned into Max Holloway and then was able to, or I think he actually tried to transition to a leg lock, and then from the leg lock he got into a single leg when Max Holloway got up and then took him down. And I wanted him to be sticky. In the breakdown, I said the longer the fight, the longer Charles Oliveira stays sticking to Max Holloway, the longer the better his chances of winning, and he did exactly that in this fight. And I'm really happy that happened because as a huge Charles Oliveira fan and also a Max Holloway fan, I don't want to see both of these guys losing any more brain cells, man. So I'm really happy with this performance. Really interesting fight was really interesting to see where Max Holloway's grappling skills, or where his grappling skill level is, and I don't know, man. I don't like Max Holloway's chances against a few other fighters. I don't really like his chance against Arman Sarukian anymore. I don't like his chance against the Benoit Saint Denis. He can absolutely win against those fighters. I was thinking it's gonna be um it would favor Max Holloway more before, but not anymore. Or should I say, not as much as I thought it was. But yeah, great performance from Charles Oliveira. Gets the BMF belt. And yeah, the BMF curse continues, man. If you win a fight with the BMF belt, you're gonna get embarrassed or dominated in the next fight, and the tradition continues. It means that I don't really like whoever Charles Oliveira's opponent is next fight, and I don't really like that fight, whoever it is. But yeah, anyhow, it was a very interesting fight. And then during the card, I guess it was after the Cody Garbrandt fight, a lot of big shots in the card. Man, that was also really funny. But they also announced the White House card. First of all, so cringe to call it Freedom 250. I have to say, what is it with Americans and freedom, man? What is it with this? It's not really unique, guys. It's like 80 countries with independence and freedom. It's not unique to America. It just reminds me of that Family Guy clip where Lois Griffin runs for a mayor or something and then says 9/11 and everyone loses their mind. And she just keeps repeating it. And it's the same with freedom. It's just like if you say freedom against an American and then they will. I mean, it's not all Americans, but I guess like the traditional Republicans, maybe, or the more conservative guys, if you say America, if you say freedom, they just lose their mind. They could have really chosen a different name for this. I find it absolutely cringe to call it UFC Freedom 250. But as for the card, a lot of people find it really underwhelming. I find the main event and co-main event to be perfect. This is what I was expecting. I was not delusional. I did not think there's gonna be 6 title fights in this card. I thought maybe 2, maybe 3. And I am, as a Topuria fan, as a Justin Gaethje fan, as a Alex Pereira fan, I am extremely happy with the co-main event. What I am not happy is with the undercard. Sean O'Malley, don't take me wrong. Sean O'Malley was Zahabi is a good fight. It's a great fight, but not really. It doesn't really excite me, man. You should have put. I mean, Sandhagen was literally there. Cody Sandhagen was literally there, but I guess they didn't really want to do that fight because then the winner obviously has. If Sandhagen won, he just lost to Merab, he just lost to Petrian recently, and O'Malley has lost to Merab like twice and got dominated the second time. But if Zahabi wins, then there is a new contender for the title, so I guess that's their reasoning for it. But after all the hype and the promotion for the card, not that much name value. And then they put Michael Chandler against Rufi, man. What is this card? Why is Michael Chandler is fighting Marusha Rufi? Rufi should be fighting someone else. He just knocked out Rafael Fiziev. Chandler is like what, 215, 216 in UFC? He should not be getting a ranked fight. I think Rufi would be a favorite against Chandler. Also, question, guys, what does Bo Nickel have on Dana White and the UFC? I think Bo Nickel has the Epstein files, man. I'm telling you, he has the Epstein files. He's blackmailing the Trump administration, is blackmailing the UFC, is blackmailing the TKO. Absolutely dumb fight to have this on the card. Diego Lopez Garcia again, great fight. Just not that many name value. I would have liked to see a Rufi versus a Paddy Pimblett maybe. I would have liked to see Peter. Yeah, I mean they said I guess they did not want any Russians in there, so Peter Yan cannot be fighting there. But I was looking for more name value in this card. They should have put JDM versus Pratis in there. Would have been an absolute banger. The main and co-main event is perfect in my opinion, but the remaining stuff is underwhelming in my opinion. But yeah, that's UFC 326. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in another video.